Hello, it's Kit Allowitz. Welcome back to another video segment for the Leadership Journey Self-Paced program. In a moment, I'll be introducing Michael Robinson. He's going to be talking about unconscious bias. I would like to remind you that we had some homework assignments related to unconscious bias, and then encourage you to work with your Leadership Journey Self-Paced buddy over the next coming months to talk about bias. We are not going to give up on this idea of bias. When we meet together again, it's our intention to have another session and maybe even a speaker on this whole realm of unconscious bias. It's a fascinating arena because really when you think about it, if you don't know that it exists, how can you know what to do something about it if there's something that's getting in the way of you becoming the kind of leader, contributor, person that you want to be. So Michael's going to be talking about unconscious bias, digging deeper. What are the implications of our behavior? And you remember back in January, we had a speaker come in, Jessica. She did a great job kind of opening up the possibilities for us thinking we may not even know at a conscious level what is happening in terms of some of our biases. So Michael's going to explore a little bit deeper what some of those are, and it's a nice segue to the fact that we're going to be talking about it later in the year if things go our way. So without further ado, let me introduce Michael Robinson. Take it away.
One of the Fab Five principles we've learned from Leadership Journey is that our behavior is a function of us as individuals interacting with our environment. And our environment is the world as it is, as we perceive it. And it's also based upon how we've internalized that world over our life and our upbringing. So all of the experiences that we've had, the situations we were born into, our economic conditions, our culture, our religion, our education, arts, literature, sciences, everything that we've experienced in a life, the good and the bad, make us who we are. And some of those experiences are deeply embedded in us, and sometimes they cause us to behave in a particular way. And we call this unconscious bias. And we all have it, and it's not a bad thing. But as we develop and as we mature and as we grow emotionally, we recognize that these biases impact the environments that we're in. And other people, as we interact with them, have their biases too. And we have to recognize the impact that these biases, these unconscious biases, have in our behavior. And we recognize that in our interactions with other people, there is a spectrum upon which our biases create an environment. So we want to be aware of this. We want to be aware that our interactions can have good outcomes and results. So as we collaborate, as we create, as we develop, we want to ensure that we are emotionally understanding our behavior and the behaviors of other people, and they're keeping us in this performance zone. But then we also want to be aware of how we can start entering into hazard areas, and then we want to make sure we avoid areas that shut down our productivity, that shut down our relationships with other people. So we just want to be aware of who we are and how we project ourselves into the environment can impact people and the impact that our behavior has on individuals. And we call that unconscious bias. And we want to explore ourselves and understand how the experiences we've had in life bring those biases to the table and the impact those can have on people.